thanks for staying with us on the Asset Television. This is newspaper review segment of our regular programming. My name is Sunday Ayami. You are welcome. We start the review this morning with this Nigeria. Economy, Nigeria is no longer boring, says Tinubu. I think that is a good one. Inflation rate slowed to 21.88% in July. Deplorable foreign missions. Ministry blames budget shortfall, pledges reforms. Then at the bottom of the paper, you see PDP, the battle ahead of Make or Mar November convention. We go to another paper now. We take the platform. In the platform, the banner headline there, you see visa breach. UK puts Nigerian students under watch list. Of course, you remember what like it went in the news yesterday, where that they said any Nigerian student that finishes his or her education should pack his or her load away from the country and do not stay there. Do not extend your student visa after your studies. So I hope below that banner story you see nearly 15,000 students sought asylum after visa expiring in 2025. Nigerians among thousands flagged in Home Office campaign. What a shame. We go to the next paper, and that is Blueprint. We go over to Blueprint now. Nigeria has met revenue target, won't borrow locally again. Well, that says that's according to Tinubu. Allays fears over Trump's economic policies. Orders security review in Katsina. Then at the bottom of the picture you see on the screen, Fintiri heads PDP Convention Committee. Anyanwu, Otom, Fayoshe list fresh conditions. Are you not saying PDP is going to the brinks there? But we wish them all the best. It's a party that was once the major party, of course the number one party in Nigeria. Now it's struggling. Because in fact it's struggling even within its fold to come out of the shelf. But let us see how it goes. I will move to the next paper now, which is the Daily Independent. Nigeria's midterm tier banks under pressure as 2026 deadline nears. Nigeria's mid-tier banks under pressure as 2026 deadline near. That is when you talk about recapitalization now. No more borrowing. This headline is again reoccurring here, where the president says there is no more borrowing. Well, PDP governors, leaders talk tough, dare wicked orders. That is at the bottom head of the paper there, on top of the masthead. You see, convention, PDP governors, leaders talk tough, dare wicked orders. Then you have here at the bottom of the photograph, well, just below the photograph, Tinubu has abandoned North Central to bloodshed. There are another one. Tinubu's government infrastructure report misleading, exposes admin. That is credited to ADC. Nigeria's committed to security, stability in Gulf of Guinea, says Shetima. I think we should talk about the security uh, here at home before we now talk about that of another country. We leave our own security gap open here and we are rescuing other countries. Well, it's in the spirit of brotherhood, let us say so, because uh, if anything happens now, at least Nigeria will be responsible in sending troops there to take care of the situation. So, but again, we should not also leave our gap open while we take care of other countries concerned. So we move over to this day now, and let's see what the paper has for us. It says, the banner headline here says, 2027, Buhari organization backs Tinubu, declares loyalty. 2027, Buhari organization backs Tinubu, declares loyalty. Then on top of the paper you have BP to list Genco, 2 discos on stock market through IPO. But if you recall, just a few days ago, this was a companies that government was quarreling with, that if they cannot meet up their demands immediately, they will cease giving them energy. But these are the same companies that are being said to be working towards going to the stock exchange. Let's see how that happens. We move over to the Nation now. The Nation is the next in line, and is still going with the same banner headline. Tinubu, we have met 2025 revenue target, gain stability. Hallelujah. That we can say. Below that, the picture you see there, you see Wike camp gives condition for PDP convention to hold. Another brouhaha there. That is Ottoman Code. The G5. Remember when Wike was holding forth to the G5, those G5 governors, that's including Wike himself, and they were opposing almost everything that the mainstream PDP will be saying. Unless it goes their way, they won't agree to it. But now they have come here in a convention. They are saying that, like what I heard Tom said yesterday, in their 5-point agenda they released after their meeting, that the chairmanship of the party must go to North Central. Well, if you ask me, I don't know what they really mean by that. The PDP said after their next meeting, the PDP said the chairmanship goes to the north, which of course includes North Central, while the presidential candidate of course goes to the southern part of the country. And the G5 governors, or the weakest group, as you will call them, are saying that you must never drag Peter Obi into the race. They will agree with Atiku, no doubt, but certainly not Peter Obi, either Atiku or Goodluck Jonathan. So why are they afraid of Peter Obi? Is Peter Obi such that they cannot manipulate? Okay, look at the bottom part of the story there. Wike camps gives condition for PDP convention to hold. So assuming those conditions are not met, what happens? That's PDP now goes into comatose. That's exactly what they are saying, because these people, the way we understand, we as journalists, the way we understand, they already have a stronghold there in APC. So if PDP is destroyed, they quietly go to APC. That is exactly what is playing out here. Because if their leader, that's Wike, Nation Wike, is a minister under this government, the APC government. Nobody, of course, nobody knows exactly where Wike belongs to now. Is he in PDP or is he an APC man? He is working for APC government and is giving instruction of what goes on in the party that, of course, he is half there. Well, let's see how we are here. We monitor how it plays as we go to the next newspaper, that is Daily Global. And Daily Global says, the banner headline here says, Tinubu, we've met revenue target. Nigeria won't borrow locally again. Well, I will keep saying hallelujah to that. But if we are not borrowing locally, is it the foreign borrowing that will still continue? Because I remember how many billions of dollars that were borrowed just about a few months ago. So now what happens? Then if you see at the other side of the paper, at the right hand side of the paper, you will see tariff war. NEC meets state electricity regulators, DISCOs. Nigeria moves to lead Africa in cyber and digital diplomacy. I don't know what you can be able to decipher from that story there now. Still tariff war. We don't even know between NEC and the other regulatory, the DISCOs, the GENCOs, who is supposed to fix tariff? Is it the NEC, that is the Electricity Regulatory Commission? Is it the NEC? Is it the DISCOs or the GENCOs that will now determine the tariff that you and I pay wherever we stay? We hope they resolve that, their war, the tariff war. We hope they resolve it so that at least Nigerians should be able to have a soft landing, not paying, using your money to pay all the bills. You have electricity. In fact, even the satellite bills that we pay through telecommunication and whatever, they are already killing Nigerians. Before we now talk about the electricity, many people now don't use electricity in their homes since they upgraded to band A, band B, C and D or whatever. Some just go without the electricity. If you don't, in fact, you don't need it. Some people don't even need it. So that's where we are now. Now let's go to News Direct. News Direct is telling you here now, it's saying here, National Convention, no single individual can dictate for the party. PDP challenges Wike, Fayose, others. Well, you see, by the time you allow a single individual to determine for a group of persons, which means you have now surrendered the will of that organization, of that party, to that person to now dictate what happens. If it goes the other way, it will tell you no, unless it goes its way. Otherwise, nothing happens. So that's what PDP is saying here now, that no single individual can dictate for the party. I hope they stand by that. I have no skin pain personally for Wike, but the fact remains that he should be able to come out clearly and tell Nigerians where he belongs. If it's going to be, okay, take for instance the local government election that just happened in Rivers State. If Wike were to be, and still is, in PDP, of course we know how the pendulum would have gone through, the way the pendulum would swing after the election. But it went the way of APC. APC getting 20 local government area chairmanship and councillors. in Rivers State, then where is Wike? Does that not tell you the body, at least the body language? The body language shows that Wike has already left the PDP. That's what it means. Because if your state, where you are calling the shot, goes the other way around, the party that you don't belong to, you only associate with that party by way of appointment, then of course you have already lost your grounds in your home base. That's the implication. That's how I see it. Because no matter if, even if, let's assume that it was just answering the call of the nation to come and serve, for which he's doing now, that shouldn't make him neglect his party. He would say, okay, fine, I am working for Nigeria through APC administration, but I am still a member of the PDP. That's what I had expected to become of Nyesom Wike, the Honorable Minister of FCT. But as it is now, Wike has moved to APC. That I can say. Because if he has to work for APC to win, even in his own local government area, let's assume, because he's the minister under the APC administration, and he said, okay, let me just dash, let me use that word dash, let me dash APC, my local government. But in this case, it's almost the entire 20 local governments have been swapped by the APC, leaving just 3 that PDP struggled to get. And I want to believe that by the time they go to tribunal, when they start sitting and all those things, those areas will be collected by the APC, which means PDP will have no single, not even any respect for the suspended governor. His own local government was equally swept out by the APC. So you can imagine, that's where we are. We go to Punch, and Punch is leading here again. Convention, Wike's camp demands ignite fresh PDP front. Wike's camp demands ignite fresh PDP feud. That is what to come. Custom intercept firearms. That's below the picture photograph you see on your screen. Customs intercept firearms. 4,841 ammunition in Southwest. My God. So, if these things were allowed, a few days ago, more than 2,000 ammunitions were intercepted by policemen in Katsina State. In Katsina State, they were ferried from one state in the around Taraba area to Katsina, and they were intercepted there. Over 2,000 ammunition, AK-47 and other assault rifles. And here again, we are seeing custom intercept firearms, 4,841 ammunition in Southwest. Are we in a war situation? Are we in a war situation? This thing worries me. All those people, in fact, they should be able to trace these people after the seizures of all this. They should be able to trace these people to where they should give lead. They should provide leads to where these arms and ammunition are coming from. Because it's not just mere seizing. So you seize these things today and you take it there, you take it to your armory, or you destroy them. You must provide the lead to where these things are coming from and what are the intentions of you shipping this thing. Are you in the military? This is not a military order. These ammunitions are not being ordered by the military or the police. At least there's a central armory where you have all these things being distributed to either the Navy, Air Force, and Army, or even to the police and civil defense, all those that are being licensed to carry arms, but certainly not civilians, not individuals, because this importation now that we're hearing now is not from government, it's from individuals. Where are you taking them to? And what do you intend to do with them? All these people that are behind all this should be thoroughly scrutinized and dealt with through the proper channel. Otherwise, this is how Nigeria will remain, and only God knows, and God forbid, that will get fragmented. God forbid. It will not happen. But it shouldn't lead to that. Let's take the next paper, and that is the Vanguard newspapers. National Convention. PDP draws battle line with Wike's camp. PDP draws battle line with Wike's camp. The main story is on page 5. It's the same thing. All the papers, of course, no newspaper will neglect this story by the time you get to, no editor, of course, will neglect the story when you get hold of it, because it's a major story, and you see that it's of concern now that the once major party, in fact, frontline party, PDP, is now struggling with itself, not struggling with other parties now. PDP is struggling with itself, with its own self. Will you want to say somebody had planted moles in the party? Because it's not impossible. It's not impossible that you have moles in almost every organization. You have moles there that want to feed fat from their sponsors to destroy an organization. That's how some people have elected themselves to be used. They have elected themselves to be used negatively instead of being positive in whatever they are doing. What stopped you from coming to say, oh, gentlemen, I'm sorry, we are a family. Let us align ourselves and see that we move together as a family and occupy the position that we were right from 1999. Although they goofed, although PDP at a point goofed through one of their leaders who said PDP will rule for 60 years. For goodness sake, have you even considered if God is going to allow you to live for 60 years to see how PDP will rule for 60 years? That statement alone angered Nigerians, and Nigerians stood up. And that was why there was a coalition that most parties submerged together, including APC, CPC, and all together to form the APC that we have today. So it's I just hope that APC will not one day wake up to say that they are going to rule forever, because the way they are going now, well, let's see. States have no excuse not to pay beyond 70,000 naira minimum wage. That is credited to NECA. Well, Chief Dr. Hope Uzodimma, His Excellency the Governor of Imo State, has opened the floodgate. 104,000 naira minimum wage. That is minimum wage. Is different from your monthly take home. Let us just situate this thing very well. That whatever at the end of the month, for example, in Imo State now, you are earning more than, let's give and take, level 1 officer in a ministry a sweeper, a gardener, or whatever, whatever. You are earning nothing less than 130,000 naira, but by the time they add other allowances, that's the implication. 104 is your minimum wage. Well, if they reduce taxes and whatever, it will fall down, but that is your minimum wage. And they add other allowances, transport and whatever, whatever allowances that you are due. It goes more than that. One other state came up again with 97,000 naira minimum wage. Well, there are some states. You recall that when the increment came, when the federal government increased minimum wage from what it was at that time to 70,000 naira, some states came to Abuja saying that they cannot pay. It was too much. How much is 70,000 naira? Equate it to what the governors, the states spend on other issues that are not of public concerns. We know the story of ecological funds, how they have been mismanaged. We know the story of security funds too, that are not being accountable. For goodness sake, you can't tell Nigerians that you cannot pay 70,000 naira minimum wage when FAC allocation has even increased, almost double now. FAC allocation has gone up. Of course, you have no excuse to say you cannot pay the minimum wage that the workers are demanding. We just have to get it right at least. We just have to get it right at least in Nigeria for the generations that are coming behind. Okay, let's go to, I think this should be our last paper now, and that's the Daily Times, one of the oldest papers in the country. PDP leaders talk tough, say no one can stop national convention. How tough are they talking now? We don't know. Let us see. By the time it gets there, because the convention is getting, November is when they fix for the convention. And by the time they get there, let us see if they will allow one person to stop that convention, or they want to stand by what they are saying now. On top of the paper there, you see Tinubu hails Buhari's legacy, reassures allies on economic stability, national recovery. Well, I think Buhari did well, and we should be able to give him all the praise as he continued to rest in peace. So that is, in a nutshell, that is what we can round up for this today's edition of the newspaper review. We'll see you again tomorrow with another bumper edition, and we hope. Unfortunately, my guest who was supposed to be with me this morning couldn't make it. He woke up very strong, and I just had a message that maybe if it's good enough, by tomorrow he will join me. And I hope to have you be with you tomorrow, and my guest is going to be around too. Have a nice time and keep a date with us. Thank you so much. My name remains Sunday. I am